Over 100 of you entered this Space Engineers building competition. The task? Create a unique frigate design in Space Engineers based on one of my Redwood Industries starships. In my mind, you all succeeded. However, there could only be 3 winners. While I show off some of the highlighted builds on screen, prepare yourselves as we dive into who won the Captain Jack RWI Frigate building competition. Here we go. As we dive into the competition winners, I want to know what we should do next. A rover competition? Maybe a starfighter one? Let me know in the comments below. Now, with the winners of the competition, their ships will be featured in upcoming stories and videos here on the Captain Jack channel. So make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a new video. Coming in at 3rd place is the Stockholm class support frigate by Omega. Now, what makes this design so unique and why it caught my eye is it blends the Redwood and RCSP design styles. I've worked with Venom for many years, and we both love each other's work styles. Therefore, seeing a blend between both is fantastic. I also like how this is an all-around good ship and works as a support class frigate. Let's explore the ship. Okay, we're in game and let's take a look at the Stockholm class support frigate. Now, Omega has done a fantastic job of blending the RCSP and RWI styles together. However, it does create that sort of weird, interesting look because are these styles meant to be blended together? Regardless, it does leave space for a ton of cool features packed away in the Stockholm class support frigate. For instance, we've got 2 railguns just stocked away at the front here, right next to the observation lounge. Now, having an observation lounge, I quite like this idea. We'll explore the interior in just a minute because there's some cool stuff in there, but I do like the way the front of this is built. Personally, I'd maybe get rid of the rocket launchers and stick another 2 railguns in there. We've got Vulcan turrets up here as well. For some reason, there's meant to be a gun here. It's not loading for some reason. I'm not sure why. It's just disappeared. SE's being a bit weird today for some reason. So we've got the RWI lettering up here. I do love a blend of sort of the red texture going into this and the use of this texture as well. My only complaint is the camouflage texture kind of like makes it look a bit weird on the eyes. It may just be me, but the camouflage does flow off a little bit. I also do like hiding the batteries behind the window blocks because that essentially looks like there's things going on inside the ship. It's the way on some of most Star Wars builds we use like LCD panels to have like little light fixtures to make things go on there. One cool feature I really like, the navcom blocks over here. So using LCDs that pulsate, so we've got one there and one over here, and these are your navcom ones to alert us where we are. So we've also got red side here, obviously it's dark on this side, due to the sunlight, you can see how they more stick out. Pretty cool, isn't it? Cool. Right, back around here. Some reason SE is lagging today. We do have the landing gear blocks down here as well, so this is using the new mag plates or landing gear. It was introduced a couple of updates ago, or last update, maybe last 2 updates, something like that. We've got one there, and we've got one on each engine pod as well, and that also links back straight around to our hangar access area. I'll show you inside the hangar in a second. My only complaint towards the back is I'm not a big fan of the ramp, but also we got to have them there so we can actually offload our ground transports. If only there was a mod to actually have like a deployable ramp, hopefully that's something Space Engineers adds one day, as that would be pretty cool. But obviously, engines all around the engine pods here. These are looking really, really nicely. I'm also loving the detail work going on. So using blast door blocks and corner things here, and the texture work has gone on to hide things away. The giant but old Redwood Industries logo. This sort of fits into this ship also being an old one, but I would probably update this one to have the new modern Redwood logo. But fair enough, we've not really released that one online yet anyway. The nameplate going along the sort of like center spire along with like the neck or spine of a ship, really like that. It shakes things up. Typically we always put the name on the side. Having it up here makes it really unique, and I actually really like that. Okay, let's take a look indoors and see what we can find. Now I'm on the bridge, and I thought I'd start here. My only complaint with the bridge is I would love to if we could have included the cult command consoles to actually put more command things down here, because the bridge does look a bit barren just with the azimuth chairs and the 2 main sort of helm things down here as well. I personally would like more. Is this one we can open? No, apparently not. Okay, I thought you could open those ones. It does look a little bit barren here, so I'd maybe update the bridge a little bit. But still, I like that maybe Omega's left it so I could play with it and upgrade it and have a thing around now, which, you know, kind of works. Now, the interior to the Stockholm class is quite big, where there's a ton of stuff going on. We've got a great ready room and barracks going on here. Very nice. There you go, barracks in the back here as well, and a toilet. Of course, the most important thing we need on the ship is the toilet. So going down the central deck here, very much an interior of an RCSP style ship here. Very much a central open plan area. Airlocks are there. I don't need to show what they do. Maintenance and engineering is this way. For reactors in here, what can we do? Oh, we can turn the reactors on and off. Batteries, very nice. Hydrogen tanks. O2 gens. So we just play with everything. I do like the playability in the ship. Again, very much like the RCSP style, where everything's very easy to access in survival mode, and this thing would work really nicely in an actual survival RP. I'm also loving the amount of catwalks that lead us to the core systems, like the engines and various other stuff going around here, meaning we can access it and repair it in case things are damaged. Also, interior turrets are included in the interior. Where else would you put them, apart from on the exterior? So you can defend against anyone boarding your ship or generally being a bit of a knob. So, you know, keep that in mind. Now, as we track back through the interior, I'm slowly venting the entire ship, because why not? We go back this way, we can go towards the front of the ship and explore some of the other key areas inside. So, main stairwell, refining control, observation deck. You know I want to see the observation room, but first we'll check out the refining room. Apparently that's what it says on the tin. It's a refining room. Happy days. Back down the main stairwell again. I also love the use of the upside down stair block to create this here. Sort of a unique design going along there, and allows the red paneling to take place to actually hide the stairs. I like that. Okay, just a gyro room in there. I'm guessing it's the same over here. Oh, there's catwalks here. Okay, for some reason there's catwalks not loaded in on the other side. That's a bit weird. Okay, sort of ease access to the catwalk area there. Now, the observation deck, probably my favorite area on the Stockholm class, is we've got a hologram table of the ship itself and the actual observation bay. This would be a very nice area to sort of like work on when the ship's hovering in atmosphere or something like that, or just generally, you know, deploying things. And you can have a science station down here. Like, the ship has got a very like versatile use. You could easily have a scientist working away down here or something fun going on. So, you know, something interesting to keep in mind. Now, we're going this way, I believe, aren't we? I got lost there for a second. Medical bays, armory and rover bay. Now, the use of the armory here to connect to the rover bay, good choice. I would have maybe put like a weapon rack in here somewhere. I thought that would have made a bit more sense. But again, interior design. Now, here is the rover bay. This means we can deploy to a planet's surface and jettison, I think, two... I say jettison, but we can send out 2 Marauder class rovers. So those are the ones I typically use in my survival series. So I'll show you how this works. If we press, I think it's... this button, there we go. We can open the hangar doors. Obviously, we are in space. You wouldn't deploy a rover right now. This could also be doubled for a small fighter deployment bay. You could easily put a tiny shuttle in here or something like that. Or even if you stripped out the middle center, you could maybe put a bigger shuttle if you pushed it back. There's certainly a lot of room for versatility on the Stockholm class. For me, the RCSP sort of mixed design, while really cool, I don't know, it just creates sort of that unnatural Redwood-esque look here. But I could easily see the 2 alliances, or the 2 factions, making that alliance, forming together, and sharing some shipbuilding techniques. It really is a cross-collaboration between both forces, and I really, really like it. Okay, let's check out second place. In second place, we have the Styx class frigate. Now, I see this as a budget defender class frigate, created by Reload, who designed the Styx class to be a little brother of the RWI defender class. I like this idea because in universe with the story of Redwood, I would imagine it to be the case that new starships would need to be made after wars and conflicts. Therefore, a cheaper version of the Defender was made. Think of it like the Stalwart class from Halo. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so we're in-game taking a look at the Styx class frigate, and again, it just feels like a baby defender class, and to be fair, it's something I was looking for quite a while. Imagine it as a cheap sort of like in-between between the defender and say like a Razor class or whatever other class of frigate or corvette we have. Like this would be a cheap production thing following wars where, you know, you needed a couple of ships just to protect some shipping lanes or something as an escort. You'd send this out rather than say a heavily armed frigate or a capital ship. And what I love is, even though I say heavily armed frigate, this thing actually has a few weapons hidden away. Immediately, I don't know why my camera's shaking like this. There we go, I don't know what happened there. Apparently Space just wasn't happy. We've got these torpedoes hidden away here. They're sort of on display, and they look really, really cool. Because, you know, you've got all the main weapons up here. So you've got a battle cannon that side, battle cannon that side, 2 Vulcans here, 2 at the rear, and some flat guns as well. These things will definitely be able to have a bit of offensive weaponry. They're going to go out and hit something and probably cause a fair bit of damage as well, particularly against any unshielded targets. We've got the main cannon down here as well, so while this is like lightly armed, it wouldn't be able to engage a capital ship or maybe multiple targets. It's still going to be able to escort something larger, say like a capital ship or transports or anything like that, so that's something to keep in mind. We've got an airlock on the side here as well. The engine pods are a nice sort of turn on both the Phoenix class and also the Defender class as well. There's no hangar bay or anything included in here. We do have a blend of ion engines as well, only in the reverse, I think. Do we have them on the front? No ion engines on the front there, so only reverse ion thrusters, or like main thrusters, should I say, which makes sense. But also they could be used just to like move the ship around if hydrogen loses power, something like that. The bridge design up here very much feels like the Defender in the same sort of like way it's sort of like on another, like an upper sort of tier above the main section of the ship. The iconic red line running through there, very, very nice. And obviously it's a smaller bridge with me sitting there. Hello. We'll take a look at myself and the bridge just a second. We've all got the hydrogen thrusters up here as well. Now, in terms of this thing flying in atmosphere, it can. We do have atmospheric engines, so this thing could easily descend into a planet's sort of atmosphere and cause a bit of damage. But I do just really like the way the armor section feels like it's sort of like bent inwards there to house these sort of torpedo blocks, because they look really, really cool. If we go in between, sort of behind them here, we can sort of see where things are laid out. Camera's not going to play ball, but you can get a gist where it's sort of hidden away in the background there. It's like engines there hiding things away. If I go in here, you should be able to see it. There you go, sort of things ducked away here. So still, like, even regardless, we've got a bit of empty space down here. I would have perhaps used this like a maintenance way or something like that, or I would have just filled this up so it's got more armor in total. All right, player control mode. We are on the bridge. Very much a classic RWI bridge here. It's missing a command chair. I would like a captain's chair up front here, but I feel like this ship is like small enough where you wouldn't really need one of those. Like, perhaps the captain has got his own console, or he's running around doing various things like that, or just standing. Maybe he doesn't want a chair. Like, it's that type of small ship. You probably wouldn't need it. To be fair, if we think of the way navies operate and things like that, you may not even have a fully ranked captain commanding something like this. Perhaps it would be commanded by a commander or a lieutenant commander. That would perhaps make sense. You don't need captains all the time, so something to keep in mind. One feature I did like of the interior is at the back here, there's sort of like this mini ready room going on here, or like, you know, officers meeting area. So even though this ship will probably be escorting things, you've still got a little officers thing going on here, where there's tables and chairs, control blocks. I really liked this. It's a little feature that sort of just surprised me, and I really enjoyed it. Now, keeping a space in mind on such a small ship like this, we're using half catwalk blocks and catwalk stairs here to make the main staircase as we go down. There's a door in here which leads sort of like an airlock and armory section. Very nice. If we continue along this way, we've got a bit of a long mini corridor. We've got a section that's leading down here. We've got the main corridor out front here. There's medical rooms in here. More medical rooms and stuff over here. I think it's just the officers' mess. We've got bedrooms, so like officers' quarters. There we go. I think it's the same on this side. It is. So these are your crew quarters. And then we've got the same sort of like front section out here. This is where your airlocks lead. Suit area, very nice. So this ship is very much compact and straight to the point, but it does keep that sort of Defender and Redwood theme going where these corridors are slimmed down. It is basically a budget-friendly Defender. Reactor room in here. Let's see what we've got. Another sort of downward section here as we go into that sort of slope down the back of the ship here. I probably would have put a jump drive in. That is the question. Is there a jump drive on the ship? That is one thing I forgot to ask myself. And if so, where is it? Let's quickly test the control thing. Jump. Oh, we don't actually have a jump drive. All right, we may need to modify that later. That's interesting. I wonder where you'd put that. You could probably hide it in the floor somewhere along here. Or even some in the back here. Because we're using one giant reactor. Oh, I've fallen down the stairs there. Those half catwalk stairs really catch you off guard sometimes. You could probably put a jump drive in the back here somewhere or something like that. To keep it in mind. Either way, the engine room's laid out really nicely because we have these half catwalks or blocks going down here. Spare parts for the reactor. Sort of chief engineer's console blocks. Very nicely. Everything's sort of stocked away here, including the gyroscopes and obviously the main reactor and the O2 tanks. Very, very cool. I'm loving the use of the blended blocks of these sort of particle emitter and also the efficiency upgrade. Are those efficiency upgrades? Which ones are these again? It is power efficiency. See, I knew it was that. So yes, this is the Styx class, one of my personal favorites. It made second place, but let's take a look at number one. So, our first place winner is the Cyclone class heavy frigate. That's a mouthful. This design caught me by surprise. While reviewing the entries, I thought this was a unique blend of old and classic Space Engineers designs. JTN 050 designed this as a successor to the Phoenix class assault frigate. However, I think it works better as a predecessor. This effectively fills up the Redwood fleet, and I can easily see this ship being an old workhorse that is still going on for decades, supporting a fleet and doing a myriad of tasks. Let's take a look in-game. Okay, we're in game, and let's take a look at the Cyclone class heavy frigate. Now, immediately, I am drawn to our amazing set of artillery weaponry up here as well, because this sort of like steals the show. We've just got 6 artillery cannons just on this side alone. Then we've also got 6 on this side as well. A bit darker due to the skybox and the lighting, but it is still super impressive. We've got assault cannons on top, as well as a blend of Gatling guns, more sort of that vanilla weaponry as well, which is really, really cool. Going back further, we've got more Gatling guns, one just below the airlock there, and obviously below the Cyclone sign. More Gatlings on the engine pods here, along with some assault turrets. This heavy frigate is heavily armed, kind of living up to the name, really, isn't it? And I think that's the part that really gets me. Now, as we go to the landing gears here, we've got obviously the atmospheric thrusters hidden away on the exterior. So the mix of hydrogen, so this can go into atmosphere, and I really get the impression of like a UNSC frigate sort of hovering above like a battlefield or something like that. This thing could definitely sit above a battlefield, and also using the range of artillery turrets we've got on board there, lay down quite a good amount of atmospheric bombardment and sieges, which is pretty impressive. Now, turrets aren't the only armament on this ship. It is all vanilla weaponry, but we do have railgun turrets, railgun mounts up here, not turrets. Railgun turrets will be a bit OTT on this ship, but we've got a camera block down here, and then 3 railguns, which mean our forward assault is going to be very impressive. Even speaking of a forward assault, charging along with those railguns, with those artillery turrets, anything in the way of this heavy frigate is going to get very damaged. Now, my only thought of a tactical weakness is this thruster here and this thruster here. Naturally, they've been put in basically so the ship can slow down, but I would personally find a way of hiding these engines in the ship somewhere. Now, maybe if this was modded, we could use it. Thankfully, this ship isn't too modded. It uses Colt's command console block, the latest mod, and I think that's about it. And obviously, you can use no armor edges if you want. The mod's not loading for me right now for some reason, or one of the skin mods isn't loading for me. But still, I would try and hide these thrusters somewhere and replace them with more heavily armor. Or even so, finding a way to hide or sort of armor them up more could be done, because there is ways to armor up thrusters so the jet doesn't melt the actual armor plating. So that's something to keep in mind. I do like sort of the prongs up here as well. Sort of reminds me of Mac guns on the UNSC Infinity and things like that. Very nice. Now, the bridge, many people critique the placement of bridges on Redwood ships like the Defender class, particularly that sits on top. However, it makes sense. You want viewports on your ship when you're commanding stuff here. I really like the placement of this bridge because if I zoom out, you can't really tell it's there. Now I've pointed out to you, you can see it's there. But when I first downloaded the Cyclone, I was like, where's the bridge? I can't find it. But I really do enjoy the placement of it. Now, there is a CIC on board. We will check that out just momentarily. Going back here, more engine pods, a nice blend of hydrogen and ion as well. I do like it when ships do that. I kind of need to do it on more of my ships as well, is have more iron thrusters here. And using the Sci-Fi thrusters, it actually fits the design rather nicely. Again, like I said in the intro, I kind of envision the Cyclone as a bridge between the gap of the old UNSC frigates we used to use, and then before we came to the Phoenix class. This would still be in service, but more regulated to being a workhorse and on the back lines essentially. This wouldn't be in the pride of a fleet right now, but maybe would be at the back there doing a few odd jobs and such like that, and probably laying down plans for bombardment. You could easily deploy this to make sure you've got a good sizable ship. 3 of these, you could take control of like a ground base very easily, or probably level it. Okay, starting on the bridge, we're going to go for a tour of the ship here. So we've got the Colt command console blocks, very traditional Redwood here, helm, ops, things like that. A nice sized bridge as well. I'd probably rip out the table if it was me. I don't really see the point of having 2 hologram tables. Still kind of cool. If we go back here, we've obviously got a section down here, which is very nicely. Windows in here as well. The windows are kind of dark, so you can't really see out. I'd maybe flip these around so you can see out a little bit better. Still like the placement of those. I did miss the airlocks here. There's a port and starboard airlock on the side of a bridge. Measly just out here. Boom, there we go. So I do like the placement of airlocks. My Defender class doesn't actually have airlocks, which is a little bit embarrassing. Still, I love that. As we go down towards the depths of the ship, there is tons of stuff hidden away that I find. I missed this room when I was checking it originally. There's sort of like Jeffrey Tube catwalk blocks going down here to where you can check out what's hidden in the ship. I very much like that because it's sort of like a good amount of playability as well. As we use ships in RP, so yeah, keep that in mind. This is the CIC. So you can see a ton of computer consoles going on here. These all stick out rather nicely and rather well. Really liking these. And also the reason you command the CIC is so you can actually fly the ship around, but still so you know, not take any damage under attack. Obviously railgun shots might pierce this, but the bridge upstairs is going to get smacked instantly. Cryotubes are stored away in here as well. I like that for 6 crew members. It wouldn't take much of a crew to man the ship, but you'd still probably want about 10 people, I'd say, to make sure it's properly fueled and ready to go. Now, I really like the hallway design going down here as well, particularly to the main hangar area. This ship does have a small hangar. It works. It fits. I would say we don't need much of a hangar on this ship, but it's still good to have. I got lost in here for a second. I thought it was a door there, isn't it? Oh, I missed the door. It's over here. I was checking this out earlier, but I've been looking at the other ships, so I get confused. Reaction engineering, we'll see that in a minute. This just takes us down to the hangar area. Unpressurized. You can use a dock of Valkyrie in here, perhaps a fighter or a smaller shuttlecraft, or even some ground forces as well. Like, that can easily be docked in there, which is rather nice. Going back up here, we've got reactor and engineering. If we walk in here, I'm going to hide my camera. There we go. Oh, I can just turn it back on again. It's a bit dark down here. We've got our engineering room, reactor. Pretty straightforward, self-explanatory. There's a few bits hidden underneath there as well. And also we've got a bit of maintenance stuff going down here on the bottom of the ship. Ta-da! There's even a stairwell down here, so we can sort of climb in and go into the depths of things right now. We are sort of getting lost as the further we go down. But, you know, can we jump across it? We sort of can, sort of can't. We can't, okay. Back on the exterior, my only complaint with this is I would have made more of a spacious sort of use of what's going on down here. So inside the ship we fly in, we've got this section down here, which is sort of like our front bow section with the turrets installed. I would have personally maybe included some catwalks something down here to make the ship a bit more lived in. But obviously when designing smaller ships like frigates, you do lose a bit of spacing. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's talk the outro of the video and go for more details. So there you have it. Congratulations to JTN050 for winning first place in the building competition. And a big well done to both Reload and Omega, who came in 2nd and 3rd place. Of course, a massive thank you to everyone who entered. It's been fantastic looking at your creative talent. I'm really looking forward to doing something like this again in the near future. If you have an idea for what we should do next here on the Captain Jack channel and in Space Engineers, then comment down below on this video or let me know in my Discord server via the video suggestions channel. Once again, a massive thank you to everyone who entered. Seeing all your hard work and creations go to it, it's been amazing. Unfortunately, there only could be 3 winners, but in my mind, you all won and you all did exceptionally well, as there's some fantastic designs there. And who knows, maybe we'll use some of the runners-up in the near future. Okay, everyone, I've been Captain Jack. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully, you all enjoyed this competition, and I can't wait to do the next one with you very, very soon. Have fun, and see you later.